You ever have one of those mornings where you walk into the shop and the smell of cedar hits you just right, and for about 5 seconds, you actually feel like you know what you're doing?
5 seconds? That's a new record for you, Tiger. Usually, the feeling evaporates the moment you realize you left your square on the other side of the room.
It was a fleeting glory. But it's Sunday, June 21st, 2026, and the solstice energy is real. We've got a lot to unpack in the den today, everything from Jimmy DiResta's latest piece of pocket art to a serious conversation about who's actually going to be fixing our air conditioners 10 years from now.
It's a packed Sunday. I'm especially interested in this tactile wave you've been muttering about. Does this mean I finally have an excuse for not sanding my projects down to a 400 grit mirror finish?
It means your oops. I slipped with the gouge is now officially called artisanal texture. But let's start with the shiny stuff. Summer 2026 is officially the season of the tool nerd. Jimmy DiResta just pushed the button on the EDC Summit bundle. Now, I've followed Jimmy since the days he was literally just spray painting his name on every flat surface in New York. And the man's brain just works in 3 dimensions differently than the rest of us.
I saw the pre-order numbers. People are tripping over themselves for this. Is it just the brand name, or is there some actual DiResta magic in the hinges?
It's the weight, Alex. Most multi-tools feel like a toy or a boat anchor. This thing feels like it grew out of your palm. It's got that functional grit he's known for. If you're a maker who hates running back to the cabinet for a specific driver every 10 minutes, this is your new shadow.
Speaking of things you'll never want to put down, Knipex is doing their summer limited edition again. And apparently they're leaning into our favorite pastime, the post-project beverage.
God bless the Germans. A Knipex gift set that includes a bottle opener made with the same chrome vanadium steel as their pliers. That opener will probably outlive my house. It's the perfect welcome to the world gift for a new parent, because let's be honest, you're going to be assembling a lot of cribs and opening a lot of stout for the next 6 months.
Congratulations on the baby. Here is the finest steel known to man for that IKEA dresser. I love it. But wait, what's going on with Festool? I heard cordless and dust extraction in the same sentence, and my wallet started sweating.
Hide your credit card. They've basically declared a jihad on power cords. For 2026, they're doubling down on mobile extraction. We're reaching a point where the portable shop isn't just a dream anymore. You can be midfield, miles from a plug, and still keep your lungs clear of walnut dust. It's expensive, sure, but lung surgery is pricier.
Okay, but all the fancy tools in the world won't help if no one knows how to use them. I was looking at the trade reports you pulled for the blog, and the HVAC numbers are, well, they're a little terrifying.
It's a weird paradox. There are 40,000 openings projected every year for the next decade. The jobs are there. The kids even want to learn. Enrollment is actually ticking up. But we've run into a brick wall. There's nobody left to teach the class.
Because the old guard is retiring and taking all that black magic knowledge with them?
Precisely. If you've spent 20 years crawling through crawl spaces and diagnosing compressor cycles by the sound they make, you are the most valuable resource in the industry right now. And I'm not talking about your billable hours. I'm talking about your brain. We're losing the why behind the how.
So what's the move? Do we just wait for YouTube to teach the next generation?
YouTube is a band-aid. The real shift I'm seeing is in these Best Distributor Awards for 2026. The winners aren't just selling parts, they're building intentional culture. They're acting as the bridge, hosting training, creating mentorship hubs. If you're running a small trade business, stop looking for the cheapest wholesaler and start looking for the one that's invested in keeping the craft alive. Your distributor should be your partner, not just your vending machine.
Let's pivot to something a bit more tactile. You mentioned texture is the word of the year for the maker mogul crowd. I feel like we've spent a decade trying to make everything look like a smooth iPhone screen. Are people finally over it?
They're starving for something they can feel, especially in the wedding market. Couples in 2026 are tossing the glossy invitations and the plastic decor. They want heavy linen, grainy handmade paper, and this is where we come in, raw wood and stone.
So the perfectly imperfect look?
Exactly. If you're selling on Etsy, stop trying to sand the soul out of your work. We're seeing a massive spike in searches for natural edge and wire brushed finishes. I did a set of coasters last week where I purposefully left the saw marks and just burnished them down a bit. They sold before the finish was even dry.
So my laziness is finally a market trend? I've been ahead of the curve for years.
There's a fine line between lazy and intentional texture, Alex. It has to look like you meant to leave that character there. It's about the story the material tells. People want to touch a centerpiece and know it was once a tree, not a 3D printed facsimile.
Speaking of 3D printing, you did mention something meta in the DIY section.
Yeah, the Filament Inception project. There's a new modular storage system floating around the community specifically for organizing 3D printing filament, and the whole shelf system is 3D printed. It's like the printer is building its own house.
It's self-replicating furniture. We're officially living in the future. What else caught your eye this weekend?
There's a build over on the Maker channel using a reclaimed metal roof for a shed. I love it because it tackles the patina problem. People spend a fortune trying to make new metal look old with acids and chemicals. This guy just went and found a barn that was losing its hat and repurposed the sheets. It's got this deep, rusted orange that you just can't fake in a laboratory.
And it saves a massive chunk of change. Wood prices might be stabilizing, but metal is still enough to make you wince at the register.
Every penny saved on the roof is a penny spent on better hinges. And if you really want to save, look at what the Osborne Insider is doing with drawer slides.
Oh, don't tell me. Is it the old school wood-on-wood wax trick?
But revamped for the modern shop. No $30 ball-bearing slides that are going to get gunked up with sawdust in 5 years. Just precisely milled scrap wood and a bit of paraffin. When you get the fit right, it's a thwump sound that feels like closing a bank vault. It's immensely satisfying.
You're a nerd for a good thwump, Tiger. I'll give you that.
I guess the takeaway for this Sunday is pretty simple. Whether you're looking at these high-end tool releases or just trying to figure out how to pass on what you know to a kid who's never held a manifold gauge, it all comes down to the touch.
The human element.
Exactly. Tools are getting smarter, cords are disappearing, dust is being vanished, but the feel is what we're all chasing. The texture of the wood, the weight of the plier, the satisfaction of a mentor seeing a student finally get how a circuit works. Don't smooth over the interesting parts of your life or your work just because you think the world wants a polished finish. The world is looking for the grain.
That's a good word to end on. If you're ready to find your own path, head over to the TigerDen blog. We've got links to the career paths in the trades, tips for your Etsy shop in the Maker Mogul section, and all those DIY projects we talked about.
Go get your hands dirty this week, or at least go touch some wood. See you in the den.
Take it easy, everyone.